You can always tell when a woman's spirit begins to lean toward you. It's not in what she says. It's not even in what she does. It's in what her energy begins to confess. Her presence changes. Her guard lowers. Her silence becomes loud. And in that sacred space between you, something unspoken begins to stir. Not lust, but recognition. Her spirit recognizes yours. Before the mind understands, the soul already knows. She doesn't have to explain it. You feel it. She feels it. It's the quiet pull of two energies vibrating in resonance. A woman's attraction is not random. It's intuitive. She is not drawn to what she sees. She's drawn to what she feels when she's near you. If her voice softens, if her laughter comes easier, if she listens more than she speaks, she's not trying to please you. Her spirit is at peace in your energy. You've entered a space within her that is beyond logic, the space where feminine surrender meets masculine composure. Understand this. A woman only opens up when she feels safe. Safety is not created by words. It's felt through energy. A man who is calm, centered, and emotionally detached gives off a vibration of quiet power. He doesn't need to prove himself. He doesn't need to dominate the moment. His stillness speaks of control. His confidence whispers, I am whole, even without you. And that is the energy she feels drawn to. When you're at peace within yourself, your energy becomes magnetic. You don't chase, you attract. You don't persuade, you radiate. The woman who feels your presence will naturally soften because your spirit gives her permission to rest. Not because she's weak, but because she finally feels she doesn't need to protect herself. A woman's attraction to you is her spirit's response to your self-mastery. She senses when you are not enslaved by desire, when you can appreciate beauty without losing focus. She feels that calm authority in you, the kind that doesn't beg for attention, but commands respect. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've learned to master the very energy that most men waste. And so, when she begins to express warmth, openness, or subtle admiration in your presence, she's not just responding to a man, she's responding to an energy field, a vibration that feels safe, rare, and steady. She's responding to the discipline that tells her, this man does not need validation. This man cannot be swayed by flattery. This man is led by purpose, not passion. True attraction isn't found in gestures or words. It's found in alignment. When your purpose and peace are intact, a woman feels it without explanation. And her openness, her laughter, her gaze, her softness becomes her soul's way of saying, I recognize you. Attraction is born long before words are spoken or gestures are made. It begins in the unseen, the quiet exchange of energy that occurs when two souls cross paths. A woman may not even understand why she feels drawn to a man. She simply senses something different in his presence. Before logic begins its work, her spirit has already spoken. She feels his calm, his strength, his centeredness, or perhaps his restlessness. Energy never lies. It tells her everything she needs to know, even when his lips say nothing. A woman's sensitivity to energy is part of her divine design. She was created to discern not just what is visible, but what is invisible. She feels the vibration of a man's essence long before her mind forms a thought about him. His tone, his posture, his level of awareness, all of it communicates a message far deeper than words could ever express. If his energy is grounded, she feels safe. If it is scattered, she feels uncertain. It's not about charm or appearance. It's about the vibration he carries. A man who moves with purpose, who walks with quiet confidence, radiates an aura that speaks louder than conversation. His stillness becomes magnetic. His peace becomes powerful. Without trying, he communicates value and stability. She feels it, and without knowing why, her spirit leans in. Attraction at this level is spiritual recognition. It is one energy acknowledging the presence of another that feels familiar, safe, or awakened. It doesn't need explanation because it transcends intellect. The unseen is always speaking, and those who are spiritually aware can hear its language. For a woman, that language is energy, the unseen pulse that tells her whether to open or to retreat, to trust or to guard, to lean closer or to walk away. When a woman is drawn to your presence, her energy naturally begins to mirror what she feels from you. This reflection is not a performance, it is instinctive, subtle, and deeply revealing. You can see it in her tone, her posture, her eyes, and the rhythm of her being. Her laughter may come softer, her movements slower, her words more intentional. She begins to flow with the calmness you carry. Her spirit synchronizes with your energy because attraction in its purest form is resonance. A woman doesn't imitate what she sees, she responds to what she feels. If your energy is restless, she mirrors uncertainty. If your energy is grounded, she responds with openness. This is why emotional awareness is crucial for a man of depth. A woman's behavior around you often reflects the state of your spirit more than her own. She is intuitive by nature. She feels frequencies you may not even notice in yourself. When she becomes softer, quieter, or more present in your company, it is not manipulation, it is resonance. Her energy recognizes peace and safety, and her body unconsciously aligns with it. Many men misunderstand this mirroring and assume it is flirtation or interest, but what she's truly doing is responding to an atmosphere. Her femininity thrives where masculine calmness reigns. When she feels seen without being pursued, valued without being possessed, she relaxes into her natural state. Her spirit mirrors your self-control, your confidence, and your emotional steadiness. It's not about charm or words, it's about vibration. When a man is in harmony with himself, he gives off an energy that invites balance. The woman before him reflects it back like a spiritual mirror. She's not changing to please him. She's harmonizing with the peace he brings, revealing how energy, when pure, connects souls without a single word spoken. True attraction is never about performance. It is about recognition. When a woman feels drawn to a man's presence, it is rarely because of what he tries to show her. It is because something within him feels familiar to her soul. It's as though her spirit remembers something ancient and unspoken. She may not understand it logically, but her heart senses it. The peace in his voice, the focus in his eyes, the steadiness of his actions, all of these become signals of safety and truth. It is not about perfection, it is about alignment. She sees in him a reflection of the calm and clarity she desires within herself. When attraction comes from recognition, it carries a sense of peace instead of pressure. She doesn't feel the need to impress or perform. Her spirit relaxes because she senses that what she's encountering is genuine. A woman's intuition is sharp. It can feel the difference between authenticity and pretense. A man who moves from truth doesn't need to chase connection. It finds him. His energy speaks of integrity, and integrity draws the kind of attention that cannot be manufactured. In this kind of attraction, there's no manipulation, no pretending to be something you're not. The woman is not responding to what the man projects. She's responding to what he radiates. The attraction is spiritual, not superficial. It's born from familiarity between two aligned energies. That's why, even in silence, a woman can feel deeply connected to a man whose spirit matches hers. It's not about effort, it's about essence. When his spirit carries peace, her soul recognizes this recognition is sacred, unspoken, and beyond reason. A connection that doesn't demand explanation because it was never built in the physical realm, but in the unseen harmony between purpose and presence. When a woman allows her true self to emerge in your presence, it is a profound sign of trust. Her openness is not weakness, it is spiritual communication. She is not simply being friendly or expressive. She is letting her guard down because something in your energy feels safe. A woman's openness is her spirit's way of saying, I sense peace here. She begins to speak more freely, laugh more easily, and reveal thoughts she might normally keep hidden. This is not because she is trying to impress you, but because she feels no need to protect herself from you. Her heart intuitively knows when it can breathe. A woman's spirit is naturally guarded in environments that feel uncertain or heavy. But when she stands before a man whose energy is calm, consistent, and steady, her walls begin to fall without effort. Her vulnerability becomes a response to his balance. The openness you see is not the result of words or persuasion. It is the effect of presence. She feels seen without judgment and valued without expectation. That kind of emotional safety is rare, and when she senses it, her spirit responds with honesty and softness. True connection happens when a woman's soul feels understood without her needing to explain. It's not about sharing secrets, it's about being seen beyond the surface. Her laughter, her silence, even her stillness become forms of communication. They all say the same thing: I feel safe with you. This is spiritual language, silent, powerful, and sacred. When a man's energy is grounded in peace and authenticity, a woman's openness becomes a mirror of that energy. It's not about attraction alone, it's about resonance. Her spirit simply aligns with the vibration of stability, truth, and trust that his presence consistently communicates. A man rooted in purpose creates an atmosphere that naturally makes a woman feel safe to be herself. His energy does not fluctuate with mood or circumstance, it stands firm, steady, and grounded. When a woman encounters this kind of energy, her body relaxes and her spirit softens. She can sense when a man is anchored in something greater than his emotions or desires. His purpose gives his presence weight, and his focus gives it direction. A woman may not understand it intellectually, but she feels it deeply. The silent authority that flows from a man who knows who he is and why he is here. A man of purpose is not easily swayed by attention or temptation. His energy does not beg to be noticed, it simply exists in quiet power. This steadiness communicates that he is dependable, not because he seeks validation, but because he has learned the discipline of self-control. And when a woman feels that level of internal stability, she begins to trust what she senses. She feels safe not because of his words, but because of his vibration, calm, consistent, and certain. His energy tells her that she can relax her own defenses and simply exist without fear of judgment or manipulation. Purpose transforms a man's presence into protection. It gives his energy a sacred weight that draws respect and admiration without demand. When he is aligned with something higher than himself, everything around him aligns naturally. The woman before him feels that alignment. She feels that his strength comes from within, not from control. It is this energy of purpose that allows her femininity to flourish. She does not shrink or pretend. She expands, knowing that his grounded spirit gives her permission to stand fully in her softness without losing herself. When a woman is drawn to a man, one of the most powerful signs lies not in her words, but in her silence. She begins to listen differently, not just with her ears, but with her entire being. Her silence is not absence, it is deep presence. In that stillness, she studies his energy, observes his peace, and feels the rhythm of his confidence. She listens not to respond, but to connect. This kind of listening is sacred because it's her way of saying, I want to understand you beyond what you say. It is a spiritual form of curiosity, quiet, intense, and attentive. A woman's silence around a man can be louder than her words. It means she feels something strong enough to draw her inward. When a woman feels safe, she no longer needs to fill the air with words. Her stillness becomes her language. Her body, her gaze, her breathing, each becomes a reflection of her inner awareness of his presence. The energy between them becomes more honest, more felt than spoken. In that quiet space, authenticity is revealed. There is no need for performance or pretense. She allows herself to just be, because his energy invites peace instead of pressure. For a man, this is where discernment matters. Not every silence means distance, sometimes it means depth. When a woman is silent in your presence, she is allowing herself to feel you beyond logic. She is sensing whether your energy is consistent with your words, whether your peace is genuine, whether your strength is calm or controlling. Her silence is her way of perceiving truth. It is her spirit's way of testing alignment. A woman who listens deeply is not just hearing your voice, she is hearing your essence, and that is where real connection begins. Energy is the language of the unseen, and everything between a man and a woman begins in that invisible exchange. Before a word is spoken, the energy has already spoken. When a woman feels drawn to a man, it is not because of his looks or charm alone. It is because of the vibration he carries. His energy is his truth, his silent message to the world. When it is pure, calm, and aligned with purpose, it becomes magnetic. A woman senses that energy long before her mind tries to explain it. Her intuition, more ancient than logic, recognizes what her spirit has met before: peace, strength, and depth. A man's energy reveals what he truly believes about himself. If he carries insecurity, chaos, or neediness, it seeps through every gesture and tone. But when he walks in quiet confidence, self-awareness, and spiritual grounding, his presence speaks of stability and clarity. A woman's spirit will always respond to that kind of presence, not because she wants to possess it, but because she feels safe near it. His energy does not demand, it invites, it does not chase, it attracts. His silence becomes communication, his stillness becomes power, and his consistency becomes comfort. Energy never lies. A man can speak eloquently, present himself well, and even act the part, but his energy will always reveal what words cannot hide. That is why awareness of one's energy is not an act of performance. It is a practice of alignment. When a man nurtures peace within himself, he naturally radiates it outward. And a woman's attraction to him becomes less about physicality and more about resonance. She is not reacting to the man himself, but to the spiritual harmony that flows through him. That is the essence of true attraction, energy meeting energy, soul recognizing soul. Real attraction has never been about physical gestures or spoken words. It has always been about energy, what your spirit carries when you enter a room. When a woman feels drawn to you, it's not because of what you have, but because of who you are when you stand in silence. She feels the weight of your peace, the calm of your purpose, and the truth of your presence. That is what captivates her, energy that cannot be faked or borrowed. A man who learns to master his inner world becomes untouchable. His worth is not determined by validation or desire. It is defined by his alignment with divine order. He no longer seeks attention because his spirit radiates completeness. And in that completeness, attraction becomes effortless. Women feel it, people respect it, and life responds to it. That is the power of becoming a man of energy, not ego. A man who does not chase connection but commands it by the quiet authority of his peace. So guard your energy, protect your purpose, and remember, true magnetism is not in how much you impress, but in how deeply you are aligned with yourself. When your spirit is settled, everything meant for you will recognize you without confusion, without performance, and without resistance.